Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Dan the Tutor. In this video, I'm going to be telling you how to find the x-intercepts in a parabola. So before you even get started, I just want to say x-intercepts have quite a few different names in math. They're also called the zeros, they're called the solutions, they can be called the roots, and they can be called factors. So all of these 5 words basically mean the same thing. So whenever the question asks for any of them, we're basically going to be doing the exact same thing. And so now, as an example, here's a formula for a random parabola. Y equals x squared minus 6x minus 16. And if I want to find the x-intercepts for anything, it's pretty easy. All I got to do is factor. So for instance, in this one, the factors of 16 are 1 and 16, you got 2 and 8, and you got 4 and 4. And the magic pair will be 2 and 8 because that will get me 2 minus 8 is negative 6. So in other words, this is x minus 8 times x plus 2. And if you're not good at factoring, then that's a problem. You should probably watch another video before you finish watching this one because I'm assuming you know how to factor already. But then from here, the solutions are, just flip the sign, x equals positive 8 and negative 2. And these are going to be my solutions or x-intercepts. And another way you need to know how to write x-intercepts are like this. 8, 0 and negative 2, 0. Because this is technically the correct answer. X-intercepts are technically coordinate points where the y-coordinate is always going to be 0. And that's just something you want to memorize. Now, what do these x-intercepts look like on the graph? Well, in this case, if I have intercepts at 8, 0 and negative 2, 0, the points will look something like this. And since I know this parabola opens upwards because the a term was positive, in other words, the thing in front of the x squared was just positive 1, so that's why it opens up, I know the graph is going to look something like this, some parabola shape like this. So now we got a bunch more questions to look at today. Here's the next one. The parabola y equals x squared minus 9x plus 18. And I want you to find the x-intercepts for me. So for this one, factors of 18, you got 1 and 18, 2 and 9, or 3 and 6. Which pair is right? As it turns out, 3 and 6, they're both negative to get me negative 9 in the middle. So x minus 3 and x minus 6, which means the solutions are positive 3 and positive 6, and my x-intercepts will be 3, 0 and 6, 0. And that's the answer for that one. So now let's look at a few more. For these questions, I want you to try them on your own first, and if you can't do it, then watch my video for the solution. So here's what I'm going to say for this one. If you want to factor this is GCF factoring, not normal factoring. You have to factor out what they both have in common, which in this case is a 3x. So it's 3x times what's left. After you take out a 3x out of each term, you're left with x minus 3. Which means my solutions are x equals 0 from this one, and x equals 3 from the right one. And the reason why 0 is a solution is because you're saying 3x equals 0, and you're dividing by 3, so that's why x equals 0 is the first solution. Now as far as the intercepts go, it is 0, 0, and 3, 0, and that's it for that one. Now for the last 2 examples we look at today, I want to warn you, these ones cannot be factored. You can try, it will not work. So what you should do instead is you should use quadratic formula. And when you do quadratic formula and you solve for x, you'll basically get the solutions and then you just have to write them as intercepts. So go ahead, give it a try. And here we go. So quadratic formula says identify your a, b, and c terms first. In this case, a is 1 because of the invisible 1 in front of the x squared. B is 5, and c is also 5. So I'm going to say x equals negative b, or negative 5, plus or minus the square root of b squared, or 5 squared, minus 4ac, all divided by 2a, so 2 times 1. And now I just got to simplify this the best I can. It's going to be negative 5 plus or minus square root of 5 squared minus 4 times 5. You can plug that in a calculator. It will be 25 minus 20, which really just becomes root 5 divided by 2. Now, in case you forget what to do here, you need to break this up into 2 solutions. It's going to be negative 5 plus root 5 over 2. and x equals negative 5 minus root 5 over 2. And I know this is ugly, but there's nothing we can do about it. This is basically the final answer. And now I just have to write these as intercepts. So negative 5 plus root 5 over 2, comma 0, and negative 5 minus root 5 over 2, comma 0. And remember, whenever you have something like this, a lot of times your teacher will let you use your calculator. And in this case, you'll get negative 1.38 for the first one and negative 3.62 for the second one. So now you can kind of visualize it, what this looks like on a graph. Zeros at negative 1.38 and negative 3.62, and the graph will be something like this. So there you go. And now just one more. Y equals 2x squared minus x plus 4. Once again, we're not going to be able to factor this. You can try. It will not work. So I'm just going to go straight into the quadratic formula, where a equals 2, b equals negative 1, and c equals 4. So now x equals negative b, or positive 1, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So for this one, it's going to be x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared is positive 1. Negative number squared will be positive. And then minus 4 times 2 times 4 is 32. And all over 2 times 2 is 4. Now I notice in the square root, that's going to be square root of negative 31, which I notice is a negative square root. And as soon as I see that, I say no solution. And we're not talking about imaginary solutions here, especially not for this one, because I'm asking for x-intercepts. When you get no solution, the answer is no x-intercepts. And that's it. That's the answer. So that's all the problems I wanted to look at today. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.